myself, my parents were musical, especially my mother, because my grandfather, well, I should start out with my great-grandparents and grandparents came here in 1889 with other relatives in the family, another branch, because my grandfather was just one of a cornfield, and then his father was killed in England, and she married a tailor, and there was a raft of them. Nanaimo has tailors all over the place. But anyway, when you get a little older, your train of thought kind of goes through me. Anyway. As I was getting back to music, my grandfather sang in the Opera House, which was the old Windsor Hotel, then the Plaza, then the Dorchester, right?
So that baby.
The Opera House was there, and I'm the only one in Nanaimo that has a picture of the inside of that Opera House. And it was, it had to be before 1902 because my grandfather was killed down the line in 1902, so it must have been around that time. The picture was taken with a flashlight. And I spent a lot of money. Mr. Dave Turner shows that picture around, but I paid a lot of money and had it updated. Because it was so faded out, and you could see my grandfather in the back row, and it was right at the time he was killed. Anyway, as music, I was very interested as a child dancing, so I took dancing lessons at a very early age from Madge Bray.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And my first experience to dance was on the stage of the Bijou Theatre. Bijou Theatre was before the Strand, before Fletcher's. And I remember that experience still. I was 4 1/2 to 5. And those days, it was around Christmas time, and that was for charity, those concerts. We had a lot of talent back then. And I'm there in my fancy dress and my long curls and bow. I get out on the stage when it came my turn, but they left it too late for me. They had all the older people on first. They kept me too late on the program. I walked out and I looked at all this, I could still see the crowd. I stood there looking at it, and my mother started to play the piano, and I wouldn't dance. Everybody clapped, and I just went. The more I did that, the more my mother said, go get up. The more I just, and they said to me afterward, and people clapped for me to do it. And why did you not dance? She said, and I said, because all those people that went before me, they were bigger than me. And I refused to dance. Then I took music piano lessons from the convent because they taught for the sisters for 50 cents an hour. And my parents couldn't even afford that. My Aunt Will paid for it. Mrs. Hardy. Anyway, I went from that to taking voice lessons in Vancouver, and I used to do the soprano solos in Handel's Messiah in church at Halliburton every Christmas and Easter, those 2 times, with an orchestra. And they were all local ones, Harry, Laurie, not Laurie McCracken.
Alec McCracken.
Alec, yeah. So we had an orchestra. The church was always full. And I think when I see the local ones putting on the Messiah, we never charged for it. The church took a lot of rehearsal. Anyway, I was going to read this letter that my mother put together. I had a cataract off, and the doctor says, now you've got 20/20 vision. I picked up his prescription. I said, I can't read a damn thing. He said, I forgot to tell you, you got to go to Walmart and get some glasses for reading. And he told me I had 20/20 vision. And that's just recently. This is my mother who wrote to the Centennial Committee. My mother was born in 1893 here, and her father was killed in 1902. It's in here anyway. I was born in Nanaimo, March 15, 1893, and lived here all my life. Many changes have taken place in this city in my lifetime. I remember so well when the street lighter came along and lit the gas on the various street corners. We had lamps in our homes, and everyone else had, and so it was really something when the electric light came into our midst. Then later, modern plumbing did away with the outside convenience, was called a honey jumper. The mine so flourished at one time, and the main industry in Nanaimo were in time no more. My father was killed down number 1 when I was 10. From Kennedy Street to 5 acres, now called Harewood, there was farms, and one traveled along a trail on both sides was heavy bush. In those days, a part of us young folk from the Wallace Street Methodist Church. I was christened in the Methodist Church, and then I don't even know what it looked like because I think it went maybe the next year or 2 years. And then I went to the United with my parents. In those days, part of the young folk from Wallace Street Methodist would walk to the small Brecken Church on Estevan and hold religious service or concert. Once a month, we took turn for the Presbyterian, Salvation Army, and other religious denominations in going to the jail on Stewart Avenue to put on a service for the inmates. The 24th of May celebration was held on the green where Harvard Park is now. It's Portland. And we crossed a bridge to get there. I don't remember a bridge to get there. Do you remember a bridge to get to the green?
No, when I used to play tennis down there, it was a solid road.
No, well, apparently, from what she said, we crossed the bridge to get there because, you know, the water went down the road. Celebrations were also held at Robbins Park. The 24th of May celebration was held on the green where the Harvard Park Mall is, and we crossed a bridge to get there. Celebrations held at Robbins Park and Caledonia grounds. The telephone office was situated in the Free Press block. The switchboard had 250 numbers, with many people waiting to get a telephone. Finally, the BC-Tel moved to Bastion Street. She's got where the Salvation Army hostel is. Well, it went turned into a bookstore. While I worked there, she went to work at 14 to help keep her mother, of course, and so did her older brother. Had to go back into the mine to help keep his mother and my mother, because my mother was younger.